Am I live? Am I live? What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? It's been a while since I made a video. Welcome to my channel. My name is KJ. Um, Let me first of all, before I even get into my response, say that I have watched Pastor Jones for a long time. I'm familiar with his work. There's a lot of stuff that he has said that I agree with. Obviously, the things that he has said that I don't really much agree with, and this happens to be one of them. So, to make sure that things are done decently and in order, I will be playing a couple of clips, the video that I'm talking about, so you can see for yourself. It's not hearsay or my words taking anything out of context. I'm going to show you exactly what he said and what my response is to it. Also, I wanted to make this video a while ago, but dealing with a couple of health issues, spending time with the kids because it's summertime. I'm actually doing this video in my room because it's so hot in New York. It's 90 degrees right now. I got the AC going, and the other rooms are just it's too hot. The room is nice and cool, so I'm doing it in here. See, I have my big screen TV right there. Pause right now so I can do the video. But anyways, without further ado, so apparently there was an incident where members of a certain Israel organization went to Pastor Gino Jennings' church, approached him for whatever reason. I don't really know. Of course, I wasn't there. I'm just going by what he said, which is what I'll play right now, and I'll give you my honest opinions about what he said. All right, so let me start. Let me play a piece of it. And of course, this is fair use. I'm just going to criticize and make some comments about the things he said. Um, you know, you could take them however you'd like to, whether you're Hebrew or not, doesn't really matter, but there are things that he said that I think that need to be placed in context, right? So here's the first one. I'm gonna let you take a listen. What's up? What's up? Yep, what's up? Down. They didn't surround TD Jakes. They didn't surround Creflo Dollar. They didn't surround Benny Hinn. It's the truth of God that causes the service here. That's the first part of it. Now, honestly, if you're going to put yourself in the same category as a TD Jakes, a Creflo Dollar, a Benny Hinn, people who are known to be all about getting as much from their congregation as they can to enrich themselves, then you're already placing yourself in the wrong category. That's number one. Because anybody of any sense already knows that these guys, they have fleeced the flock for decades, right? These people have enriched themselves, as some other pastors have, Joel Osteen, um, and others. They live these lavish lifestyles. There's a bunch of them. Believe it or not, a lot of people still go to their churches. Why? I'm not sure. But that prosperity gospel has fleeced the flock for decades, right? So you don't want to say, oh, well, these people haven't been approached. Lots of people in the truth, um, even people who are not necessarily in the truth, just people in the media have investigated people like TD Jakes, Creflo Dollar, um, what's the other one? The one that has a big church in Texas. I just said his name, Joel Osteen. Other guys like that, the ones with the private jets and the expensive cars, multiple homes. People have already went in on them, approached them, and asked them about their lavish lifestyles. All right, so they have already been put on blast for it. So to say that these people that approached you have not approached them, it's like, all right, but you're not in the same class as them, right? We're not going to put you in the same category as a prosperity preacher because we've seen your body of work and what you teach from is the Bible, right? Allegedly. I've never been to a sermon of Pastor Jennings, so I can just go from what I have seen posted on YouTube. And it seems that what he's doing is preaching from the Bible. However, making a statement like this, you don't put yourself in the same category as these guys and say, oh, well, they haven't been approached. Yeah, they have. Maybe not by this specific set of people that have approached you, but they have been put to task by a lot of people. Moving on, I'll show you another piece that I kind of had a problem with, and you'll see why. I'm gonna let you listen here.
I don't call you Israelites. In the 1920s and the 1930s, I believe it was either in New York or Chicago, there was a gang called the Purple Gang. That's all you are to me. And your purple and gold pajamas, you're nothing but the Purple Gang. They say he don't preach God is black. I most certainly do not. I preach God is a spirit.
So, first of all, he called them the Purple Gang. Now, I'm pretty sure I know which set of brothers that he's referring to. But let's just say this. Um, First of all, they're not a gang. I don't know what a Hebrew Israelite is, supposedly. Um, as Paul said, I'm a Hebrew of the Hebrews. So you're Hebrew. People say Hebrew Israelite, but it's not a religion. What these brothers are claiming is a lineage. And they're not saying that God necessarily is black. So I can't speak for them. But when you say Hebrew Israelites say, then you put in everybody that claims to be a Hebrew into one pot, stirring it and saying, yeah, this is their doctrine. That's not true. That's not true at all. What they're claiming is that the manifestation in the flesh, Christ, was a man of, dark complexion, right? There's verses in the Bible that can back up what people in the Bible actually look like. There's a verse about when Moses was told to put his hand in his bosom, was asked to remove it, it was white as snow. Now, if you're a Caucasian and you're already pretty much pale skin, putting your hand and then revealing it to be pale again or white is nondescript. That really does nothing for the people looking. If you're a man of dark complexion, you put your hand in your bosom and pull it out, and then it's white or Caucasian, that's pretty amazing, right? So it's not that God necessarily, the Father, the creator of all things, the spirit is a black person. No, we're talking about the incarnation or the flesh of the Christ who was here was like, one of us, right? Because only people from the Negroes in America and Caribbean who have no lineage and have been beaten with the Bible and these pictures of a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, gold mustache man as the figure of the Christ, who we now understand was Caesar the Borgia, right? Totally, out of character, not even related to anything in the Bible. This was somebody's depiction based on a person, right? Not on anything from the Bible, not on their knowledge of scriptures, nothing like that. This is just the person that they wanted to portray. So to take that and say, well, this is the teaching, that's being disingenuous. You know what I mean? Because I can point you right now to brothers on YouTube who do not teach that. There's a brother, his channel's name is Unplugged. That's one. There's another brother, Thoughts Camera Action. That's two. There's another brother, New Breed. What's the other one? It's another one that I watch, Ringo. And a couple others who I don't watch as frequently. But that you putting everybody into this one category, and that's that. It's not true. I mean, if I had to go through every portion of this video, I mean, to go back and forth about things that he said, I'll probably be here all day. But let's just move forward and let's go to the next portion. And like I said, this is fair use because I'm using his actual words so you can see what he said and why my response is what it is. Okay, so let's look at the next one.
Pastor Jennings is not intimidated by nobody and nothing. This shows you how strong the gospel is. Where religion will come and encircle the entire church, you could have yelled all day, but these walls of Jericho would never come down.
Now, I just made a comment about it right now, so I had to play this clip to show. So he's claiming that these brothers are Hebrew Israelites. That's what they're called, I guess. That's what he says. That's not what I refer to it as. That is a religion. It is not a religion. It is claiming a lineage. Again, it's like claiming to be from a certain tribe, right? The Israelites, as we know from the Bible, there were 12 tribes, right? They had the northern kingdom, 10 tribes, southern kingdom, 2 tribes. These brothers are claiming to be from those tribes, whichever, whether it's Judah or whoever. It's not a religion. It is a way of life, right? There are people in Africa right now hailing or claiming to hail, and some of it has been verified um, to be from the lineage of Aaron, right? From the Kohanim. They still practice the same practices. They have a Bible that is older than the King James, by a lot, right? Their mode of dress, their customs, everything is in alignment with what is in the Bible. So you're telling me that these people in Africa doing these practices, what are you going to tell them? That they're fake Hebrew Israelites? These people have been practicing this before your great grandfather knew about who your great grandmother was going to be. To put it in perspective, that's how long and longer they've been doing these practices. It's not something new to them. It's not new age to them. It's generational. So, ipso facto, people were taken from there, brought over here, Christianized, or so it's called. I don't know if I necessarily call it that, but in slavery, used the Bible to get beat over the head with. Next thing you know, generations later, oh, the white man's book, this, that, and third. How many slaves were lost, killed? People did not follow through with their traditions because they knew they would be persecuted for it. Right? So you're putting all these people in the same box. It's like me saying, oh, well, you're one of these pastors that claim to be a follower of Christ, kind of like the Catholics and, whatever other religion, Baptist or whatever. And we know how many problems Catholic Church has, right? How they've hidden away cases of child abuse and all these things. So maybe we should put you in that same category, right? Since you claim to be a pastor. How about we throw you in that category and leave you there because, yeah, your church probably full of problems too. You don't do that. You judge people on a basis of, okay, this is what they're teaching. If you'd actually named the group, I would have been fine with it and say, oh, well, this specific group, um, I've seen them, I've heard what they're saying. I don't think it's right. And this is A, B, C, why I don't think it's right. You don't openly say Hebrew Israelites and expect, like, excuse me, like, what are you saying? So if I claim to be a Hebrew, so all of a sudden now I'm in that category as well? No, I can't abide by that. So the last portion of the video I will show and talk about is this one. And this is a big issue because, like I said, these brothers' channels I spoke to you about, you hear them talk, especially Brother Unplug him, and he will tell you straight up that having a lineage does not guarantee you a place in the kingdom. It does not. Just because you're from the line of Judah or whatever, from the lineage of David, does not guarantee you a place, because guess what? The New Testament, it's under Christ. He's the head. So you could be as black as this pen right here. You or as white as this right here. You don't accept, you know, Christ, or the Most High in the first begotten Son. Forget about it. You have no place. He's not gonna know you. All right. So let me play this so you can hear it for yourself.
In the 30s and the 20s and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, the Ku Klux Klan had the same cheap, weak, frail teaching. They called themselves white Christians. Burning crosses. Their uniforms, white sheets, white pillowcases. And their biggest belief, all heaven would be white and black folk had no chance of being saved. The Hebrew Israelites come with the same thing. That Jesus died only for people of color. And all white folk are lost. Now I have a very interesting.
So that right there is a lie. As I said, you can look at Brother Theo's channel, goes by Unplug him. You can look at TCA or Thoughts Camera Action, New Breach channel, Ringo's channel, channels like mine, obviously. And basically, the understanding is that everybody's lost, right? Of course, they believe in a certain lineage coming out of those 12 tribes. True, but everybody's lost until you come under that umbrella of, let's say, the New Testament, right? Because the New Testament is Christ, right? You have to be under him. He's the mediator. So this thing about, oh, well, they preach that it's only for blacks. No, that might be certain sects that do that. That's true, right? Because I have seen and heard some of the stuff that, some of the groups say on the streets of, whether it be New York City, Philly, different places like that. They go different places and they say what they say. But that's not all Israelites or not all Hebrews. You cannot put all of these people that claim this lineage into that same box. Like I said, what about the Jews that are blacker than me living in Africa right now? They've been doing this since my great grand was a boy. You understand me? So before Gino's time, before Gino's father's time, before Gino's great grandfather's time, they've been doing this. You're gonna say that this is what they're preaching? No, they're practicing their religion. There's obviously people that are out there that are preaching these things and saying, "Oh, white folks is lost, white folks are the devil." Let me tell you something, man. When I'm in my neighborhood in New York City, I'm not afraid of police, not afraid of white folks, white women, nothing like that. Maybe in corporate America, in the workplace, people stab you in the back and stuff like that. True, true enough. White folks at work or whatever probably grease you over faster than black folks because black folks, they ain't really got the complexion for the connection, if you understand what I'm saying. But out in these gritty streets, it's no white on black. You know what I mean? People do crimes and criminal activity in the neighborhood that they live. So most of the perpetrators in my neighborhood, they're gonna look like me or probably Latino. You know what I'm saying? They're black or Hispanic, whether they're from South America, um, from the Caribbean, whatever the case is. These are the people that you have interactions with, right? And that's with whatever neighborhood you live in. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're Asian, white, whatever the case is. I mean, everybody knows, well, everybody should know the history of these countries, right? In America, you had gangs that were Irish, gangs that were Jewish, gangs that were, basically European, okay? And people in these Italian, everybody had to deal with these criminals in their own neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? The Italian mob, the mafia, you had these Irish gangs, they came over here, they were poor, they were trying to make a living, trying to make something for themselves. So yes, there's a lot of criminal activity. So even before, people like probably look like me had a foothold in the economy or could even do something illegal with another group, there were groups of white people, you know, gambling, number running, prostitution, drug running, bootlegging, all done by white folks. You know what I mean? But again, they did these things in their neighborhood with their people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had to try to get something out of the economy for themselves. And that's how they could do it. A lot of them came here, they didn't could barely read and write. A lot of them came here poor, they didn't really have nothing to them, their name, and they were just trying to make a way. You know what I'm saying? But that's our past. Yeah, sometimes it's like that now because you have this group that's been at the bottom for hundreds of years trying to come up. A few come up, let's say, through the entertainment industry, whether it be uh, comedy, music, sports, whatever form of entertainment it is. Um, and then you have people who are still part of that group at the bottom, seeing these people, have a meteoric rise, especially some of the younger ones. And then there's hate. You know what I mean? So you have infighting, people getting robbed, people getting shot at, people getting stabbed uh, within that same group against each other. You know what I mean? So for it to say, "Oh, only black people are gonna be saved," no, there's a lot of black folks that I don't think they're gonna be saved because they straight up criminals. You know what I mean? And I don't see them changing. I don't know their hearts or whatever, but I've seen the criminality. You know what I mean? I don't think they're destined for change. But then again, I'm not the most high. I don't know what tomorrow will bring for them. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect by any stretch of the imagination either, which is why I am rebuking Pastor Gino Jennings. You're not perfect. talking about, oh, he's from whatever part of Philly. Like, yo, if these brothers that really want to put hands on you, nobody in the church would have stopped them. I've seen some of the young bulls out there with, these different Israelite groups. Like, if one of them young 20-something dudes came over there and decided to lay hands on you, there'd have been nothing you could have done except pull out the toolie. You know what I mean? So, talking about, oh, they were making noise. Yeah, but of course, I'm not going to condone their approach. Nobody's condoning their approach, but the stuff you said is inflammatory. And a lot of it is lies and, obviously without merit and, it's misleading. You can't stay on the whole Hebrew Israelites are such and such and such when there's other brothers out there that have never preached that. And as I said, some of these brothers have a pretty decent sized channel. And you can listen to them. You never hear them say, oh, it's black only. One thing you might hear them say is that Christ was a man of black complexion. So don't believe that, Europeanized version of the picture that they show up and things like that. And they'll also say, well, the Bible is a book about black history. As I said, Moses stayed in Egypt, was raised by the Pharaoh. Now, past movies will have you thinking, oh man, Egypt was like, especially if you're my age, 40 plus, Egypt was like white folks, right? Because Charlton Heston played Moses and they had Gerard Butler and Gods of Egypt. Like, no. People in Egypt look like this. So if he stayed in Egypt with Egyptians and was raised in the Pharaoh's house by the Pharaoh's daughter, what do you think Moses looked like? What do you think his brother Aaron looked like? Like just think about it. What do you think he looked like when he was asked to put his hand into his bosom and remove it and it came out leprous? Like, what do you think his complexion was before he did that? So it's things like that that they go into to prove it's not really colorism, but it's just saying that, hey, people from these tribes were not what others would have you believe. And the people who are currently in Israel are not probably the original people, right? Because we understand a lot of people came into this religion afterwards of Judaism. Now that's a religion. They're not claiming Judaism, they're claiming to be Hebrew. Like we're talking about bloodline, like of the original people. So there's a difference, Pastor Jennings. And I don't know if anybody on this channel will share this video with you, but that's just my response to what you said. And as I said, I've watched plenty of your videos. I have great respect for people such as yourself, men who come out there, speak the truth, speak from the scriptures, from the word. Don't try to water it down. I heard your videos telling them about their fake hair, fake eyelashes, fake boobs, butts, and the nails, and yeah, all that stuff is good, but everything in context, right? Obviously these things about the women, it doesn't pertain to all women because not all women do it. I live in New York. I see people that are out here natural all the time. I see women that wear no makeup. They look pretty. Obviously they're not all in the truth. Most of them aren't, but okay, I still get your message. But when you make claims like this about Hebrew Israelites, and again, whatever that is, I don't know. Who came up with that term? It's like a double term for some reason. I don't know. But when you make these kind of statements, it's like, all right, so I guess I'm in that boat now because you said that. Like, you know what I mean? And today is the Sabbath. I did not really want to make this video today, but as I said, I've been dealing with some health issues. Had the kids back and forth for a week at a time. It's crazy hot. So to have the three of them here, the heat, we had to be in close proximity. I just had to take the time to do it after they left. So I hope, somebody who sees this, you watch the whole video, you take what I said into context. You can look this up for yourself. I think I put the name in the title, Those Who Say They're Jews. If you look it up, you'll see the video. And if you know the brothers that I'm talking about, you can actually go to their channels, listen to some of their material, and you will hear them say, listen, man, being a Hebrew, it doesn't grant you, like, that's not your black card. It don't get you in. It really don't. And all of them will tell you that, like, you're not following the commandments, you're not, you know, following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, then I don't care how black you are, bitch, you ain't got no ends. You know what I mean? And it goes for white people too, Chinese people, whatever. You know, same thing for what I said about the criminality. You know, people do crimes in their neighborhoods. You have black people committing black crimes in their neighborhoods. So you telling me I'm going to say that because his brother is a brother, oh yeah, obviously he got passage in. No, no, he don't. He's a criminal. Belongs in prison or wherever. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that's my rant. I'm already at 30 minutes. Good gracious. And the AC is going on still hot. New York is pretty hot. So I hope you like the video. Share it with somebody. You know, maybe you watched Gino Jennings, maybe you don't. Maybe you've seen this already. And like, that's what these Hebrew Israelites about. No, it's not. Because I know brothers here that, you know, they wear their, they wear the 6-pointed star. I don't. You know, I wear a lion piece, you know, for Judah, Christ, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. I don't subscribe to the 6-pointed star at all. But yeah, you know, hopefully share the video, you know, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I have more content coming soon. You know, like I said, I had a couple of health issues I was dealing with. It's been hot, I had the kids, house is packed, so I have a couple of things that I want to do. Probably do it tomorrow. I usually don't like doing lives on the Sabbath. I just prefer to just relax and do nothing, especially when it's this hot. Probably listen to some scriptures, read some scriptures, that's it. But not much else. So that's all for now. Hope to see some comments, you know, tell me what you think. And that is it. This is KJ. I am out. Peace.